They say a single penny can't change your life. But what if I told you that one tiny coin-a-simple 1964D Lincoln cent could be worth more than your dream home, your dream car, and your dream retirement combined? Imagine holding in your hand a coin worth over $866,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's real. And in this video, I'll reveal why this ordinary-looking penny is shaking the coin-collecting world and how you might already have one sitting in your pocket, your junk drawer, or that old coffee can in the garage. Picture this. It's a quiet evening. You're going through an old box of coins left by your grandfather. You pull out a worn brown cent from 1964, flip it over, and there it is, tiny D beneath the date. You think nothing of it. After all, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that penny could buy you a lake house or wipe out your debt overnight? What if that coin could transform your life? This isn't just a story about metal and mint marks. It's a story about hidden value, forgotten history, and the rare moments when luck meets preparation. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal exactly what to look for, how collectors authenticate these coins, and why some people are quietly becoming millionaires thanks to this one overlooked cent dot. So, how did a 1964D Lincoln penny become one of the most sought-after coins in the United States? Let's travel back to the early 1960s. America was booming. John F. Kennedy had inspired a new generation. The economy was strong, and the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of coins every year to keep up with demand. But behind the scenes, something fascinating was happening. In 1964, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, most of them completely ordinary. But among them, a few pieces were created under mysterious and highly unusual circumstances. Some say these rare specimens were minted on planchettes meant for silver dimes or nickel compositions. Others believe a minting error caused the metal to take on a unique tone, weight, or finish. Whatever the reason, these rare 1964D Lincoln cents stand apart. A small miracle of minting and rarity. Now, here's the jaw-dropper, a verified 1964D Lincoln cent with the right combination of condition, die variety, and mint era recently sold for over $866,000. Yes, $866,000 for a penny. Let that sink in for a moment. Pause and think about it. When was the last time you looked closely at your change? How many times have you tossed a penny aside, not realizing it could be your ticket to financial freedom? Here's the uncomfortable truth most people will never check. And that's exactly why stories like this sound unbelievable until they happen to someone else. This particular 1964D penny stands out because of its rare die variety and pristine condition. Coin experts call it a mint state condition, meaning it's virtually flawless, even under magnification. Combine that with an unusual die alignment or a double strike minting error, and you've got a coin worth more than its weight in gold. But before you go running to your coin jar, here's a crucial point. Not every 1964D penny is valuable. millions were made. But the key lies in the details, tiny imperfections, specific die characteristics, and a level of preservation so rare that only a handful of examples survive today. These are the unicorns of coin collecting. Think of it like this. Most people own the equivalent of a regular baseball card. But a few lucky ones have a rookie card signed by Babe Ruth and don't even know it. Now, here's where things get even more intriguing. The coin market isn't static. It's alive. It fluctuates with collector demand, auction trends, and the economy. And right now, we're living in a golden age for rare coins. More collectors are entering the market than ever before. And wealthy investors are treating coins like fine art, diversifying portfolios with tangible history. That's why coins like the 1964 D Lincoln penny are exploding in value. In fact, coin auctions across the country are seeing record-breaking prices. Just last year, a bidder walked away with one of these pennies for a jaw-dropping $866,000, bidding private collectors and investment groups. And that was just one coin. Let's be honest, doesn't that make you want to check your pocket change right now? I'd bet at least a few of you are glancing at your nearest coin pile. Just in case. But here's what separates those who dream from those who discover. Serious collectors don't rely on luck, they rely on knowledge. They study mint marks, understand grading scales, and know which varieties are truly valuable. So, if you're serious about turning your old coins into wealth, pay attention to this next part. First, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade above 60 means mint state, the kind of near-perfect condition that makes collectors' hearts race. If your 1964D penny looks new, shiny, and uncirculated, you're already one step ahead. Second, look for minting anomalies, things like doubling of the date or letters, unusual coloration, or a coin that appears slightly thicker or thinner than normal. These can indicate a mint error, which dramatically increases value. And third, authentication is essential. Don't trust online rumors or amateur opinions. Have your coin professionally appraised by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC). They can verify authenticity, assign a grade, and encapsulate your coin in a tamper-proof case, instantly increasing its credibility and market value. Now, you might be wondering, why is there such obsession around pennies, of all things? Why not gold coins or silver dollars? The answer is emotional. Pennies are part of everyday life. They remind us of childhood piggy banks, pocket change, and simpler times. When something so common turns out to be incredibly rare, it captures our imagination. It feels like finding treasure in plain sight. And here's the kicker: these rare finds don't just change bank accounts, they change lives. There are documented cases of ordinary people stumbling across coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars while cleaning out attics, sorting yard sale finds, or checking inherited coin collections. One lucky man in Colorado discovered a 1964D Lincoln penny that turned out to be one of these ultra-rare mint errors. He sold it for nearly $900,000 and retired early. Can you imagine that moment? The fear of missing out if you had tossed it away. The thrill of realizing your worthless penny was actually a fortune. That's not just excitement, that's life-changing. And here's where this story takes a powerful turn. Because what's happening with the 1964 D penny is part of a much bigger movement. Americans everywhere are rediscovering the value of tangible assets, real, physical items with historical and emotional weight. Coins, gold, collectibles, they're more than hobbies. They're vehicles of wealth, independence, and legacy. Think about it. A rare penny isn't just a coin, it's a conversation starter, piece of history, a symbol of patience and attention to detail. And those who take the time to understand its value often end up understanding something even greater. That wealth hides in plain sight for those willing to look closely. Let's inject a little humor here. How many times have you heard someone say, "It's just a penny"? Well, next time, maybe hand them a magnifying glass and say, "You sure about that?" But jokes aside, here's the urgent truth. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find coins like this. Many are being snapped up by collectors or locked away in private vaults. Every year that passes, fewer uncirculated examples remain in circulation. If you ever wanted to uncover one of these treasures, the time is now. So here's your call to action. Go through your change jars, your old coin albums, and those dusty boxes in the attic. Look for any Lincoln cent dated 1964 with a small D beneath the year. Examine the coin carefully under good lighting. If it appears unusually sharp, shiny, or has a unique error feature, get it appraised. Because you never know, you might be sitting on a coin worth more than your house. And even if you don't find the jackpot penny, you'll gain something equally powerful: awareness. You'll start to see money not just as paper or metal, but as a story, a bridge between generations. Between the everyday and the extraordinary. Remember this: every wealthy collector started with curiosity. Every fortune begins with a single discovery. The question is, will you be the one who finds it? The next time you hold a penny, pause for a second. Look closer, because inside that coin lies the possibility of wealth, history, and the reminder that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest value. And for those who take action, those who choose to search, learn, and preserve, you're not just collecting coins, you're collecting freedom. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who's just now realizing that your pocket change might be worth a fortune, remember this moment. That tiny coin could change everything, because while most people spend their lives chasing wealth, a few discover it was sitting in their hands all along. So go ahead, check your pennies. Because somewhere out there, 1964 D Lincoln cent is waiting to turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. And who knows? The next coin that slips through your fingers could be worth $866,000. Don't let it be the one that got away. But before you check your coin jar, let me warn you, this story isn't just about luck. It's about discovery, mystery, and the power of knowing what others overlook. Because somewhere in America right now, Someone might be holding one of these life-changing pennies without even realizing it. It all started in 1973. The Vietnam War was winding down. The Watergate scandal was heating up, and inflation was quietly eroding the value of the US dollar. Meanwhile, at the Denver Mint, millions of Lincoln cents were being struck. Most of them were ordinary common copper coins that jingled in everyone's pockets. But a few, just a few, were different. They were minted with subtle errors, microscopic differences in detail, or unique chemical compositions that would, decades later, make them among the rarest and most sought-after coins in American history. Now, here's the wild part: many of these coins entered circulation. They weren't locked away in a vault or saved by collectors. They were spent on coffee, gum, or maybe a newspaper. Imagine one of those pennies could have passed through your hands, your parents' hands. Maybe even still sits in that dusty coin jar in your kitchen. If you're feeling a tingle of curiosity right now, that's not an accident. Because stories like this aren't just about coins, they're about the possibilities hiding in plain sight. So, what makes the 1973 D. Lincoln cent so valuable? Why would a penny be worth $860,000 or even more? Let's break it down. The Denver Mint produced over 3 billion Lincoln cents in 1973. Most made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But in a few extraordinary cases, minting errors occurred. Some coins were struck on leftover bronze planchettes from previous years. Others featured double dies, misaligned strikes, or even experimental metal compositions. These rare variations can make one ordinary-looking penny worth more than a Lamborghini. Collectors prize these coins because they represent accidents that shouldn't have existed, tiny imperfections that transformed into treasures. But here's the kicker. These coins are so subtle in their differences that most people never notice them. To the untrained eye, a 1973 D penny looks like every other one. But to an expert, one look under magnification can reveal history, rarity, and fortune. Now, let's pause for a second. Think about the last time you dumped your pocket change into a jar. Did you glance at the dates? Probably not. Most people don't. And that's exactly why coins like the 1973 D. Lincoln cent remain hidden in plain sight. You might be thinking, okay, but what does this really mean for me? Well, it means that in a world obsessed with new technology, digital money, and credit cards, the humble penny often tossed aside could still hold. The key to a life-changing discovery. Here's where things get even more interesting. In the collector's market, coin values aren't just about rarity, they're about condition and demand. A flawless 1973 D. Lincoln cent, graded in mint state condition by professional grading services, can command prices approaching $860,000 at auction. Some experts believe a perfect specimen could even cross the $1 million threshold if it surfaces. But here's what's driving the frenzy: scarcity and speculation. Every year, more people learn about these hidden gems, and the hunt intensifies. With coin values surging, Those who act early, who learn, search, and verify stand to gain the most. Still, you might be asking yourself, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? The answer is part history, part psychology. Coins tell stories. They carry moments of human error, government secrecy, and national identity. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying a piece of America's past. Preserved in copper and steel, and let's be honest, there's something thrilling about the idea that your next big break might be hiding in your kitchen drawer. That one overlooked coin could rewrite your financial future, but only if you know what to look for now. Here's a little pattern break for you imagine explaining to your spouse that the penny they almost used to scrape gum off the table is worth more than your entire house. You'd be sleeping on the couch, but in a very expensive house. The humor aside, the point is real. Opportunity doesn't always look flashy. Sometimes it's dull, brown, and smaller than a bottle cap. Let's dig deeper into the specifics. The 1973 D penny with exceptional value typically shows one or more defining features like a double-die obverse, meaning the details of Lincoln's face or the lettering appears slightly doubled under magnification. Another rare trait could be a minting on the wrong metal composition, bronze instead of copper zinc, for instance. These anomalies are verified through metallurgical testing and certified by institutions like PCGs or NGC, the gold standards of coin grading. And if you find one that meets the criteria, you don't just sell it on eBay and hope for the best. You protect it, authenticate it, and present it to the right auction house places like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors compete. That's where six-figure sales happen. But here's where the fear comes in, and it's justified. Every day, people unknowingly spend rare coins. They hand them over at vending machines or donate them to coin counters. Those mistakes cost people fortunes they never even knew they had. Don't let that be you. The difference between an ordinary penny and one worth $860,000 could be a single, overlooked detail, so here's the urgency. Start looking now. The value of rare coins fluctuates with market demand, metal prices, and collector interest. And right now, the vintage U.S. coin market is surging. As more investors turn to tangible assets, especially during times of economic uncertainty, rare coins are becoming a new class of alternative investment. But before you dive headfirst into your coin collection, there's one more twist to this story. Some experts believe there are still undiscovered varieties of the 1973 D penny minting errors so rare that their true value hasn't even been realized yet. Imagine being the person who finds the next one-third coin that rewrites price guides and makes headlines. It's happened before. It could happen again. Here's a little cliffhanger. What if I told you there's evidence that a few 1973 D pennies were struck on 1972? Proof: planchettes, essentially experimental blanks used for higher quality minting. That would make them nearly unique, potentially pushing their value well beyond $1 million. But very few have ever been confirmed, and experts are still searching. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The smallest coin, the most overlooked piece of currency, turning into a symbol of enormous wealth and possibility. That's the beauty of the Huntha idea that greatness can hide in the ordinary dot. Now, let's connect the dots. If you want to uncover whether your 1973 penny could be the one, here's what you do. First, handle it carefully, no polishing, no cleaning that can destroy its value. Second, inspect it under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for doubling, mint mark irregularities, or unusual coloration. Third, check the weight. A standard 1973 copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything significantly different might indicate a minting error or composition variation. Then, once you've spotted something suspiciously unique, contact a professional coin grading service. They'll authenticate and certify the coin, providing documentation that can turn curiosity into cash. And if it turns out to be a rare variant, that certificate could be your ticket to a life of financial freedom. Because here's the truth. Most people spend their lives chasing wealth through jobs, stocks, or risky investments. But sometimes wealth is sitting right under our noses, disguised as something so simple, so common. We never think to look twice. If you've ever dreamed of finding a hidden treasure, this is your chance. It doesn't take luck, it takes awareness. The right knowledge at the right moment can change everything. And maybe, just maybe, that 1 cent sitting in your drawer is your $1 million penny. So don't ignore that little pile of change. Don't underestimate what looks ordinary, because history has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. And who knows? The next time someone tells you a penny isn't worth much, you might just smile, knowing that the one you're holding could buy you a mansion, a dream, and a future. Stay curious, stay observant, and never forget great fortune often hides in plain sight. The 1973 Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that sometimes smallest things can change your life forever. And if you're ready to start your search, start today. Every day you wait, another coin might vanish into circulation forever. Because when opportunity knocks, it doesn't always sound like $1 million deal, might just sound like a single, humble penny hitting the counter. Your journey to wealth could begin with something you already have. All you need to do is look closer. That's the secret collectors have known for decades. The difference between those who dream of wealth and those who find it often comes down to awareness, patience, and timing. So go ahead, check your coins. You might not just find history, you might find your future, because in the end, the 1973 Lincoln cent isn't just a story about money. It's a story about discovery, about believing that extraordinary things can come from the most unexpected places. And that's a lesson worth more than any amount of gold or copper. Your fortune could be in your hands right now. Don't let it slip away. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what makes this penny so special, you'll also know exactly how to spot one, what to look for, and how an ordinary American coin can change your life forever. So, let's start at the beginning. In 1978, America was buzzing with change literally. Gas prices were rising, disco was booming, and in Philadelphia, millions of Lincoln cents were being pressed just as they had been for decades. The penny had Abraham Lincoln's familiar face on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, perfectly ordinary in every way or so it seemed. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most 1978 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which, at the time, did not use a mint mark. Denver and San Francisco coins, however, proudly wore their tiny D or S marks beneath the date. So, a 1978 penny with no mint mark might seem completely normal until you realize that some of these ordinary pennies were anything but. Collectors began to notice subtle, almost imperceptible differences, minute variations in the way the coin was struck, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, or the texture of the copper surface. Some of these no mint mark coins displayed what appeared to be proof-like qualities, mirror finishes, razor-sharp details, and strikingly crisp edges. That shouldn't have happened in a standard production run. Here's the twist. Those coins weren't supposed to exist in circulation at all. Imagine the shock of someone discovering that a penny in their pocket change, something they could have spent on a gumball, was actually an ultra-rare variety that could pay off their mortgage. That's exactly what happened to a few lucky finders. One of the most famous examples surfaced in a small coin auction years later. Experts were puzzled. How did this coin, with no mint mark and a standard date, exhibit such pristine characteristics? Theories began to circulate. Perhaps it was struck from experimental dies. Perhaps a test strike escaped the mint. Or maybe it was a rare minting error caused by an unintentional use of a proof die in the Philadelphia presses. Whatever the reason, the result was extraordinary, a coin so rare that collectors were willing to bid six figures for it. Now, before we talk about the jaw-dropping value, let's take a quick reality check. Most 1978 pennies you'll find are worth 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're feeling optimistic. So, what separates the $1 million penny from the penny in your pocket? It all comes down to 3 critical details: condition, composition, and rarity. First, condition. Coin collectors, or numismatists, use a strict grading scale that ranges from poor to mint state. A perfect grade, Ms. 270, means the coin is flawless under magnification, no scratches, no blemishes, no handling marks. For a 1978 penny to reach that level of perfection after nearly 5 decades, that's like finding a snowflake that never melted. Second, composition. Most 1978 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a heavy, rich mix that gives older cents their distinct reddish tone. But some rare transitional coins, believed to have been test strikes for later compositions, might differ slightly in metal content. Those anomalies, they can push values into the stratosphere. And third, rarity. Out of the more than 5 billion 1978 pennies produced, only a microscopic handful have surfaced with the characteristics that collectors crave: deep, proof-like luster, doubled eye details, or mysterious minting quirks that defy explanation. Now, let's talk about that famous sale in a private auction attended by top-tier collectors. One of these 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln cents sold for an unbelievable $853,000. That's right, over $800,000 for a 1-cent coin. The winning bidder reportedly said that this penny tells a story of American precision, imperfection, and luck. Think about that. A coin that could easily have slipped through your fingers. Decades ago could have paid for a soda or a phone call might now be the key to a fortune. Here's the kicker. These coins are still out there. Every year, new discoveries are made by ordinary people, someone cleaning out a drawer, sorting through inherited change, or checking a jar in the garage. Coins thought to be worthless suddenly turn into life-changing finds. And with every new discovery, demand skyrockets. But there's a catch. The coin market, like any investment field, rewards those who act fast and learn what to look for. Because for every collector who finds gold, well, copper in this case, there are hundreds who overlook their chance simply because they didn't know. So, how do you make sure that doesn't happen to you? Start by examining your coins carefully. Look closely under good lighting. Check for mint marks or the lack of them. Inspect the surface for mirror-like reflections or doubled lettering, especially on Liberty and the date. If your 1978 penny seems unusually sharp, shiny, or different from the rest, it's time to get it appraised. And please, don't clean the coin. That's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. A polished coin loses its value instantly. Collectors crave originality, the untouched surface that carries history in every scratch and tone. Now, I can almost hear you asking, but what are the odds of finding one? Well, let's put it this way. The odds of hitting the lottery might be worse, but the difference is you already own the ticket. It's sitting in your piggy bank, your change jar, or maybe even in that dusty box of coins your grandparents left behind. Still, before you go digging through your drawers, let's talk about why these discoveries matter so much. For many collectors, the 1978 no-mint mark penny represents more than just money. It's a symbol of possibility. It reminds us that hidden opportunities exist everywhere, even in the most ordinary corners of our lives. It speaks to the thrill of the chase, the idea that with knowledge, patience, and a bit of luck, anyone can uncover something extraordinary. And here's something to keep in mind. The value of these coins isn't static. As the collector market grows, prices keep climbing. The coin that sold for $853,000 this year might fetch over $1 million next time it hits the auction block. Why? Because rarity and history never go out of style. In fact, numismatic experts predict that rare U.S. pennies, especially transitional and mint-era varieties, will continue to surge in demand as younger generations enter the market. It's not just collecting, it's investing. A tangible, inflation-proof asset you can hold in your hand. But let's be honest, most people never even check. They assume their old change is worthless, while someone else quietly cashes in on the same type of coin. Don't be that person who looks back years from now and thinks, I could have had one. You don't have to be an expert to start. All you need is curiosity and the willingness to look a little closer. Imagine finding that rare penny. Imagine walking into an auction and watching bidders raise their paddles as the price climbs higher and higher. Imagine the moment you realize that something you once thought worthless is now the key to a new chapter of your life. That's the excitement. That's the dream. And it's not just a fantasy, it's happened before. And it will happen again. So tonight, when you get home, grab that old coffee can full of coins. Dump it out on the table. Take a deep breath. Because you never know, one of those little copper circles might. Just hold the power to rewrite your story. And even if you don't find the legendary $853,000 penny, the process of searching, learning, and discovering the hidden value in what others overlook, that alone brings you closer to the mindset of wealth. Wealth isn't just money. It's awareness. It's the ability to see potential where others see nothing. So, keep your eyes open. Because history has a funny way of hiding treasures in plain sight. And who knows? The next time someone asks you, what can you even buy with a penny these days? You might just smile and say, a house. If you found this story inspiring, take it as your sign to look again, to search deeper, and to never underestimate the power of what's right in front of you. Because the next millionaire coin might not be lost, might be waiting for you to find it. And that, my friend, is the true magic of the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The truth is, not all pennies are created equal. Most of us grew up tossing them into jars, ignoring them on sidewalks, or using them for good luck. But in the world of coin collecting, that tiny copper piece could be the key to a wealthy, worry-free lifestyle. Imagine paying off your mortgage, buying your dream car, or finally taking that luxury vacation, all because of a coin that's probably hiding in plain sight. Our story begins in 2002. When millions of Lincoln pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint, each stamped with that small D mint mark just below the date. To most people, these coins looked identical, plain, ordinary, forgettable. But hidden among the masses, a few rare errors slipped through, coins unlike any others. These rare misprints and anomalies became legends in the numismatic world, hunted by collectors and investors who understood their potential to skyrocket in value. It's a little ironic, isn't it? The coin we overlook every day, the one that falls between couch cushions, might be worth more than your car. It's the ultimate underdog story, a symbol of how something seemingly worthless can turn into something priceless. And that's exactly what happened with one particular 2002 D penny discovered in pristine condition, with a rare minting error that made it nearly one of a kind. When it went to auction, seasoned collectors battled it out, driving the price higher and higher until the hammer finally dropped at an astounding $815,000. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, let's explore why this penny became so valuable. Coin experts use three main factors to determine worth: rarity, condition, and demand. First, rarity. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and planchette flaws are extremely rare in modern pennies. The 2002 error pennies that have surfaced show extraordinary minting mistakes, tiny details that can make the difference between a 1-cent coin and a fortune. Second condition. The grade of a coin determines its market value. The $815,000 penny was in near-perfect mint state, untouched by circulation, preserved as if it had just left the mint yesterday. Imagine finding that kind of coin sitting in your change jar, its value hidden beneath years of dust. Third, demand. As collectors compete to own a piece of history, prices surge beyond reason. Wealthy investors see these coins not just as collectibles, but as financial assets, portable, tangible stores of value that can outperform traditional investments. And here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about luck. It's about knowledge. Those who understand what to look for are already ahead. Every year, hundreds of people stumble upon valuable coins without realizing it. They spend them, give them away, or trade them in at the bank, never knowing they just lost a small fortune. So let me ask you, how many treasures have you unknowingly given away? The thought is a little terrifying, isn't it? That's the fear of missed opportunity. But here's the exciting part. There's still time. Many of these rare 2002 pennies are still in circulation today. They could be in your wallet, your dresser drawer, or even the coin tray of your car. And once you know what to look for, you'll never see an ordinary penny the same way again. When collectors first heard about the discovery of the $815,000 penny, the community went into a frenzy. Online forums lit up, auctions surged, and the hunt began. Coin shops saw a wave of hopeful visitors armed with magnifying glasses and Ziploc bags full of pennies. Everyone was asking the same question: could I have one too? The answer might surprise you. While not every 2002 penny is worth a fortune, several variations can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and specific errors. The most sought-after ones show subtle signs: a double strike on Lincoln's profile, a misaligned mint mark, or a faint die clash on the reverse side where the Lincoln Memorial appears. These tiny imperfections are golden tickets for those who recognize them. Think about that for a moment. The same coin millions of people overlook daily could become your gateway to financial freedom. That's not just inspiring. You don't need Wall Street connections or a trust fund. You just need awareness, patience, and maybe a little luck. But before we get carried away with visions of beachfront homes and luxury cars, let's be real. Not every penny will make you rich overnight. The coin market rewards patience and precision. The key is learning how to spot and preserve value. Handling coins correctly, keeping them free from scratches and oils, and getting them graded by a reputable service like PCGs or NGC can multiply their worth instantly. One small detail could be the difference between a $5 coin and a $50,000 treasure. Here's a fun thought experiment. Picture yourself at a garage sale. You see a small box of old coins priced at $5. Most people walk past it without a second glance. But you stop. You sift through them and notice a 2002 penny that looks slightly off. You buy it, send it for grading, and 2 months later, it's confirmed to be a rare error worth hundreds of thousands. How's that for the best investment of your life? It sounds unbelievable, but stories like that happen every year. Of course, not everyone believes it until they see it. Some laugh it off, a penny worth millions. Yeah, right. But the market speaks for itself. Auctions have proven time and again that rarity plus demand equals incredible value. In a world where digital money dominates and inflation erodes savings, tangible assets like rare coins hold a timeless allure. They represent stability, history, and the possibility of wealth hidden in plain sight. So how can you start? Begin by examining every coin you come across. Look for mint marks, especially that small d, under the year 2002. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Check for unusual textures, misaligned designs, or doubling on the letters and numbers. If something looks strange, don't dismiss it. Research it. Compare it with verified listings online. And if it seems promising, have it authenticated. And here's a little humor to keep things grounded. You catch yourself spending an hour squinting at pennies with a magnifier. Congratulations, you're officially a coin detective. But hey, when one coin could pay for your retirement, who's laughing now? There's also a deeper story here, one that resonates beyond the monetary value. The Lincoln penny itself is a symbol of perseverance. Abraham Lincoln, immortalized in copper, represents resilience and vision, the idea that greatness often comes from humble beginnings. In many ways, the 2002 penny embodies that same spirit. A small, overlooked object that carries the potential for extraordinary worth. It's a reminder that sometimes wealth hides in the most ordinary places, and that brings us to the bigger picture. The people who discover these coins aren't just lucky, they're attentive. They pay attention to details others ignore. They understand that opportunity rarely announces itself, it whispers. And those who listen, who look closer, are the ones who find it. The world rewards curiosity and courage. So ask yourself, are you paying attention? Now, imagine this. It's a quiet evening. You're sorting through some old change you've collected over the years. Suddenly, one penny catches your eye. The shine looks different. The markings seem off. Your heart races as you realize it's a 2002 You grab your magnifier. Check the details and see signs of an error. Could it be? You send it for grading, and weeks later, you get the call. Your coin is authentic, rare, and potentially worth hundreds of thousands. That's the moment your life changes forever. But don't wait for luck to knock on your door. Create it. Start looking, start learning, and start valuing the small things most people ignore. Because that's where the real treasures are found. The next great discovery isn't locked in a vault. It could be sitting in your pocket right now. And here's the cliffhanger that keeps every collector awake at night. If a 2002 penny can be worth $815,000, how much might the next undiscovered variation sell for? As the market continues to grow and more investors turn to tangible assets. The next record-breaking penny might not be found by an expert or a dealer. It might be found by you. Did every coin tells a story? Every scratch, every shine, every tiny imperfection holds a secret. And for those willing to look closely, those secrets can become life-changing rewards. The opportunity is there, right in front of you. You just have to recognize it. So the next time you hear the faint jingle of spare change, remember this story. Don't dismiss it, because one penny, one small piece of history could be the key to your future. It could be the spark that turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. We live in a world obsessed with big things, big houses, big paychecks, big dreams. But sometimes, the smallest things hold the most power. The 2002 D. Lincoln penny is proof of that. It's more than just currencies, a symbol of hidden potential, waiting to be discovered by someone bold enough to believe that even a single cent can be worth a fortune. So look again. That ordinary penny in your hand. It might just be your $1 million miracle.
But before you rush to your coin jar, take a deep breath, because the real story behind this penny isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about hidden value, missed opportunities, and the life-changing potential sitting quietly in your spare change. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to tell if you have one, and what steps to take to turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary fortune. Let's start at the beginning. Back in 2006, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, the kind you see every day with President Lincoln's profile on the front and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, there's nothing special about them, but among the masses, a handful of coins were struck with subtle yet incredible errors, tiny details that transformed them from 1-cent curiosities into treasures, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. You see, the Mint uses massive high-speed machines to strike coins, pressing metal blanks into design after design, thousands per minute. Occasionally, something goes wrong. Maybe the die, that's the engraved stamp that imprints the design, shifts slightly. Maybe a double strike occurs. Or perhaps a unique metal composition sneaks into the batch. In 2006, a few Denver minted Lincoln cents experienced exactly that, striking anomalies that collectors would later identify as some of the most fascinating mint errors in modern U.S. coinage. And here's the kicker. These coins were never meant to exist. One such 2006 D penny displayed an extraordinary double die on the obverse. That's the head, side with Lincoln's portrait. The doubling was so precise and vivid that it created a visual echo on the words, "In God we trust," and "liberty." When a sharp-eyed collector discovered it, the numismatic world lit up like wildfire. Suddenly, what was once pocket change turned into a national treasure hunt. But how does a penny like this skyrocket to $800,000 in value? The answer lies in a powerful cocktail of rarity, condition, and demand. Only a few specimens exist, and among them, only one or to remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that look as if they just rolled out of the mint yesterday. Collectors pay top dollar for perfection, and when perfection meets rarity, prices soar beyond imagination. Think of it this way. Anyone can find a 2060 penny, but finding the 2060 penny with that precise double die, flawless surface, and sharp strike, that's like winning a lottery you didn't even know you entered. And here's the emotional punch. How many of us have carelessly tossed coins into jars, vending machines, or parking meters, not realizing what we might have been holding? Every single time you empty your pockets, you could be passing up a life-changing opportunity, literally leaving money, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, on the table. Now, let's pause for a second. Humor me with a question. How many pennies do you think are hiding in your car cup holder right now? 10, 20? You might want to look again after this video, because here's the reality. People are finding these valuable coins every single year. Just last year, a 2006 penny graded at a near-perfect condition by PCGS, one of the most trusted grading. SCRVICES fetched close to $800,000 in a private auction. That's not a myth. That's a fact, verified and recorded in modern numismatic history. The key is knowing what to look for. Start by checking the mint mark. That small D beneath the date on the front. That tells you it was minted in Denver. Next, look closely under a magnifying glass at the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If you notice any doubling, letters that appear shadowed, thick, or slightly split, you might just have struck gold. Figuratively speaking, here's where most people make a crucial mistake. Rush to sell. That's right. Fear and excitement often cloud judgment. People find something that might be valuable, list it online immediately, and sell for a few $100s when the coin could be worth hundreds of thousands. So, take your time. If you suspect you have a rare penny, do 3 things. First, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can destroy value faster than anything else. Second, have it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the industry leaders. Their certification can make or break a sale. And third, consult multiple auction houses. The more exposure your coin gets, the more competition, and the higher the final bid. Now, here's a twist you probably didn't see coming. Not all valuable 2006 pennies have visible minting errors. Some owe their worth to an even rarer trait, a unique metallic composition. A few were struck on transitional plankets, meaning they were made with leftover metal from earlier coin types. These off-metal errors are so rare. They're often valued in the 6-figure range simply because only a handful exist worldwide. Imagine that. 2 coins, both stamped 2061, worth a cent, other enough to retire on. This is where the deeper message of this story hits home. Wealth isn't always where we expect to find it. Sometimes it hides in the everyday, in the spare change on your nightstand, in the dusty box your grandfather left behind, in the small things we overlook because they seem too ordinary. And that's what makes this story so powerful, because the 2006 Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of discovery, patience, and the value of paying attention. It reminds us that opportunity doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers softly through copper and zinc. Now, you might be wondering, what's the current market doing? Are prices still climbing? Absolutely. The market for rare U.S. coins, especially modern mint errors, is stronger than ever. Collectors are increasingly turning to newer issues, not just the old. Classics like the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 copper penny, coins from the 2000s that slipped through quality. Control with hidden secrets. Auction records show that between 2022 and 2025, the value of high-grade 2060 error pennies increased by nearly 35%. That's faster growth than many blue-chip stocks. In fact, some financial advisors now recommend diversifying with collectible assets, like rare coins, as part of a balanced wealth strategy. It's not just about owning history. It's about owning value. Now, before we wrap up, let me ask you something. If you found one of these pennies today, what would you do? Would you sell it immediately, frame it, or hold onto it, knowing it could appreciate even more in the coming years? Because the truth is, timing matters. Right now, demand is high. Serious collectors and investors are hunting for verified specimens. That means the window of maximum profit might be open right now. Not forever. And that's where urgency comes in. Every day, more of these coins get discovered, certified, and locked away in private collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. The opportunity for average Americans to stumble upon one in their coin jar or pocket change will only shrink with time. So here's your wake-up call. Don't wait. Check your change, check your coin jars, check that old coffee can sitting on the garage shelf. Because somewhere out there, one of those little copper discs could change your life. And who knows? The next record-breaking coin might already be in your possession. Funny enough, people often say money doesn't grow on trees. True, but sometimes it jingles in your pocket. So as you go about your day, think about the bigger picture. This isn't just a story about a rare penny. It's about recognizing value where others see none. It's about patience, awareness, and believing that even the smallest things can hold immense power. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't just about what you have. It's about what you see. Now, if you're serious about identifying valuable coins, consider studying the subtle signs of minting errors, getting familiar with grading standards, and connecting with legitimate collectors' forums. Educate yourself, because the more you know, the better your chances of spotting that life-changing find. And remember, stories like this don't happen to the lucky, happen to the curious. Somewhere, right now, someone is staring at a penny, wondering if it's worth keeping. And maybe that someone is you. So take this as your sign. Look closer. Pay attention. Because hidden value doesn't care who finds it, only who recognizes it. And who knows? The next time you pick up a coin, you might just be holding a piece of history, and perhaps your ticket to an $800,000 fortune. Because sometimes the smallest treasure can lead to the biggest change. If this story inspired you, remember, wealth starts with awareness. Keep exploring, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. The next $1 million discovery could begin with a single penny.